And I'm here with Jeff Megow with Floor Zone. How are you today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show.
This is exciting.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit about yourself personally before we get into the flooring world.
All right, let's see. Born and raised Houston, Texas. Graduate of the University of Houston Entrepreneurial Program.
Woohoo, go Cougs.
There you go. Absolutely. I was actually the first class with entrepreneurship on the degree. So
awesome.
Back in the late 90s and so forth. Married, 2 kids, just having a great time with them, watching them grow up, and running Floor Zone.
Yeah, I know that entrepreneurial program is really something special because it only invites a certain amount of people a year.
Yeah, absolutely. You do know. So the program is there's an introduction to entrepreneurship that they'll have for a semester, and then they will let you interview to see if you want to be a part of the program, and they take 30 students. And then they have those students follow like a 2-year program with the same classes and all the same students in the same classes. And it's a very intense program. It's on steroids nowadays. It's quite amazing what they've done with it over the years.
Yeah, I actually know of quite a few people that have been in it.
Oh, really?
Okay. And have done, they work together now and they collaborate. And it's really an amazing opportunity, I think, for entrepreneurs just because it is such a small group, 30 people for 2 years. You get to know each other pretty well and know who you can work with and who you can't work with really quickly, probably. And that
you get to learn a few lessons while you're in school, and that's absolutely the truth.
Yeah, now they have them run their own businesses and do things kind of while they're in school. So tell me a little bit about your business and how you got started in flooring.
All right, so Floor Zone is in its 18th or 16th year of business. I've been with them for about 14. And so I joined my business partner after he started the company after, I think, the end of year 2. He was kind of a mattress Mac to furniture mattress Mac. He was kind of that guy to flooring in the Houston area. So he was kind of a flooring legend. His name was Jack Kynard. He was past retirement when he started the company. And then I joined him, like I said, about the end of year 2. And so he, for 50 years, was a dominant force in the flooring industry in Houston. But it was much more on the retail or residential side and through distribution. And so when I joined him, I had family that was in commercial real estate, both on the management side. I had family that was in the architecture side. And so I kind of felt like I could pursue the commercial side of the business. And so together we just kind of grew Floor Zone from just the 2 of us to now we have a team of 13.
Oh.
He passed away a few years ago, but that was, he worked until the day he died, which is what he wanted to do. And it was a fun, challenging relationship as we grew the business, like any partners would
Absolutely.
go through. And so now we're probably about 75% commercial, 25% residential, but growing more so on the residential side the last year or 2.
Is that something you focus on more, or you just focus on commercial more?
He was really the residential piece. I mean, he was at his age. He lived to 87, working at the company, but he was bringing in probably a third of the business just sitting there. And he was actually legally blind the entire time I worked with him. It was quite fascinating, but he just knew the business so well. And so he was kind of a residential side. And so when we lost him, that was kind of a big thing to go through, and we now have a great residential sales manager who's got about 15, 20 years of experience, and so we're growing that side of the business more. This past year with the pandemic, it was kind of a challenge. The commercial side obviously slowed down with no one going to the office, but on the flip side, everybody's staying at home. They were looking around going, I really do need to change that carpet, or that kitchen really should get remodeled this year. And so the residential side of the business has taken off quite a bit, and we're growing in that direction.
I guess the pandemic kind of helped out in that.
I wish we were a little bit more slated on the residential side, and we are growing, especially now that Vince is on board. And so that's been exciting to see.
Maybe I can help out with that a little bit.
I would love that. We need to partner up on more things for sure.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Realtors are definitely a way. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of the pandemic, a lot of people were selling their houses. So they had to do a lot of
Right.
flooring and stuff. Do you just do replacement or do you do refinishing and kind of everything flooring?
So yeah, anything flooring. If you can walk on it, we can do it. So when you talk about refinishing, you're talking more about wood floors. So we'll do both engineered or pre-finished, or engineered or glue down wood floors, and then we'll do sand and finish floors on site as well. And so it seems like the market's probably much more pre-finished wood flooring, but the sand and finish part again is what we do.
What are the trends these days with flooring?
Houston's gone through a lot in the last 4 or 5 years, right? So we've had 3 major floods, Harvey being the biggest, and then this pandemic. And so after the floods, you really saw a lot of people just moving away from wood floors in general. They just were tired of having to replace wood floors. There was a big push towards ceramic tile or porcelain tile that looked like wood. And so they were doing that in a lot of homes, especially in the areas that were prone to flooding. And so that kind of dropped off. And then there's a lot of what they call click LVT or resilient flooring, luxury vinyl plank. And there's a lot of promotion that that's a waterproof flooring. And people are kind of going to that because it'll survive better than, it's not as hard as walking on tile and stone. It'll survive better than wood floors. Especially if you have pets, larger dogs and so forth that might be prone to scratching the wood floors. Or kids, kids that like to play soccer with cleats in the house, kind of thing. So. Yeah.
And are they truly water resistant and waterproof?
Yeah, yes and no. All right,
Okay.
so wood floors, no. But there's a lot of products out there that people are marketing as 100% waterproof. And a lot of those are a click LVT vinyl product that's going to be considered floating. So the floor is clicked together side to side. It's just resting on your concrete slab. And so if there's a flood event and water's on top or underneath, there's going to be nothing wrong with the floor. But as a homeowner, if you have flood water or any kind of leak and there's water underneath the floor, you're going to want to get rid of that water and you're going to want to dry that floor out. And so, yes, it is waterproof, but you still have to think about, okay, well, if there is a flood, I'm going to have to remove this floor. And you're really not going to remove a floor and then piece it back together. Think about a jigsaw puzzle with 1,000 pieces the size of your house.
Yeah.
You're probably just going to end up getting new floors anyway. So yes, waterproof, but that doesn't mean you don't want to get rid of the water. So
absolutely.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about, I know there's a big, when people go in, is this real wood or is this engineered wood? Kind of what is the big difference and what are the benefits or?
All right, so there's
not benefits.
There's kind of there's like 4 categories. So there's and you heard me stumble on it earlier in this conversation. There's engineered and there's solid, right? And so engineered flooring is a wood flooring product where you have a real wood floor on top. So it is the real wood. It's the real oak or the hickory or whatever that flooring look that you're looking for is. It just has a backing that has a plywood substrate. And so what that plywood substrate does is it absorbs moisture that's wicking up through the concrete better than a solid wood product. And so the engineered product is typically what you're going to use if you're going to have wood floors in a house that's slab on grade or concrete on the ground. What those layers of plywood help kind of stabilize the wood, whereas solid wood you wouldn't be able to do that. So solid wood would be used more in a house where you're going to be over screeds and tar, and that's the traditional. We talked about Bel Air and our ties to that area growing up. A lot of those houses that were built, late 70s, actually late 50s, 60s, 70s, right? They had recessed concrete slabs and they had screeds and tar, the traditional flooring, and so that's where you're going to see solid wood. Now, the last difference is it pre-finished or is it sand and finish? So pre-finished, the look and feel that you see at the flooring store is the color, is the feel, that's what you're going to get. The sand and finish is you're going to sand and finish it actually at the house. You can get pre-finished wood that's way more expensive than your sand and finish wood. You can get sand and finish wood that's way more expensive. There's all kinds of bells and whistles that'll change the cost in working with a flooring store like Floor Zone to kind of help guide you through your situation, what kind of home you have, what kind of look, what kind of use, with the kids and playing in the house with the big pets and so forth that you would want to consider.
I always thought that real wood automatically is just more expensive.
nowadays you're getting a lot of different types of species, a lot of different grades of wood. And right now with the pandemic, things are so mixed up. It's the
Cost of lumber, cost of wood.
the cost of lumber. Yeah, everybody stayed home and they're doing that remodeling project, and so wood all over the world is being used like never before, and so there's massive shortages. Then combined with the fact that people at the different mills might not be working, at the different ports and overseas might not be actually shipping stuff. So if you're actually looking for a wood floor right now, we're using telling people, think about it, try and buy it, but understand you're going to be waiting 6 to 8 weeks before that material gets here. It's kind of I don't know, I forget which question I'm trying to answer, but yeah.
That's how it is with anything. Windows, I have clients that need to put new windows in. It's like, okay, that's 90 days out. That's, all this stuff. We're having to list homes and just say, this stuff is on order. We will be replacing the windows, but we don't have them in stock anywhere. But, those windows will be replaced, so don't worry about it. So
yeah, I think that the thing that was surprising me with that, when you're talking about that, windows, yes, we're actually being advised there's a potential glue shortage for wood floors and other types of flooring products that are glued down this summer. We're seeing that different chemicals that are used to make the glue.
Same with paint. I heard that paint the same chemicals that are made with paint.
Yeah.
But that's also hard to find nowadays too.
Well, and for and I don't know what the cause, but I looked at it at the beginning of the year when we were first advised of it. There was a shortage of raw material in overseas, but the raw components to make that material is what skyrocketed, and so the manufacturers were going to sit until demand rose, price rose, so they could actually then produce that chemical to make the adhesives. And so it's
wow.
And then the other component that I wanted to mention is the freight. Whereas some of our manufacturers before the pandemic, bringing a container of wood flooring or a container of vinyl flooring might cost $800 to bring it overseas after manufacturing. Now we're understanding that container to ship overseas might cost $10,000 or $14,000. Wow. So the scarcity of containers, the scarcity of the people that are operating the cranes at the ports, just because of what they're available to with the pandemic, is just it's kind of chaotic.
Okay, so the prices are crazy now.
Prices are crazy now. Try and lock stuff in. Try and find stuff that's available. And if you like it, get it right away.
Order it. Yeah. If you're even thinking about getting flooring, call Jeff now so they can put the product on order and get it going for you
Absolutely.
As soon as possible.
Mm-hmm.
I really appreciate you coming on the show and
thank you, Dena. Yeah.
The inside of flooring. So if y'all need any flooring, once again, contact Jeff and let him know how they can get a hold of you.
Give us a call. Our office number is 713-683-7003, and anybody would be glad to help you.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for coming on the show. We really appreciate it. Thanks for watching today, and thank you to Now Media TV for having me again. Really appreciate it. I hope y'all have a great week.